All right, you got it.
Okay, OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's also an anxiety disorder, and I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of OCD. It's characterized by unreasonable thoughts, which are what you obsess over and lead to repetitive behaviors, which are the compulsions.
There's about 1 in every 100 adults has OCD in the U.S. and 1 in every 200 children. The rates of obsessive compulsive disorder in these 3 or 4 or 5 countries. In the U.S., it's about 25 for every 100,000, or 25,000 for every 100,000. And in the southern countries, it's about 120. That's only because they have less of a population and they don't really have a treatment plan for it. About 3% of the U.S. population has OCD, and the other 97% doesn't have it.
Okay, so there's not really a certain cause on OCD, and but an imbalance of serotonin, life stressors, and family history could contribute to it. And then some of the symptoms could be spending a lot of time cleaning, overly checking on family members, and collecting a lot of junk.
OCD affects women and men equally. It can start at any age, children, baby, adult. It's really, yeah.
Some treatment, you can either have, we've all talked about the exposure therapy, like, so if someone's like really obsessive about being clean, they have to like touch the trash can and then lick their fingers. So that's like the behavioral approach. You can expose them to what they're pretty much afraid of. There's also biomedical, and like we talked about, antidepressants have been really useful in helping with OCD, but it's shown that it's not really helpful on its own. Like you also need medicine and also therapy. Medicine really can't just do it on its own. And the best approach is cognitive and behavioral, because you have to use the cognitive approach to try to change their thinking about what they're obsessing over, but also you have to change the behavior. This YouTube video is the man from Deal or No Deal who doesn't like to shake people's hands, and he has like the
It is a crippling and mysterious disease that makes everyday life a minefield for some 5 million Americans. OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. And one of those people is superstar comedian Howie Mandel. On stage, he makes millions of people laugh, but off stage, he can't shake hands with them, or touch a doorknob, or a glass, or even be with his own family at times. Here's David Muir.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and Howie Mandel arrives at the set of Deal or No Deal.
First trick of the day.
Almost immediately, glimpses of the Howie Mandel that he's kept secret for most of his career.
Handrails are my enemy. I never go near a handrail. I won't open those things. I would never serve myself. I wouldn't touch this because a lot of people have touched that. This is actually my nightmare.
Mandel has obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD.
I love this. Every door should just push shut.
His obsession, germs, an obsession made famous with his trademark fist bump.
And what's the difference between shaking the hand and the fist bump?
In my mind, this is a petri dish. Otherwise, I would spend a day as I have in the past in my life in the men's room rubbing and scrubbing and scalding.
But as we were about to learn, Howie Mandel's OCD goes far beyond that fist bump. Off stage, it is all-consuming.
Look, everything's brand new each day. That's normally how a workstation looks. Look at my stuff. All brand new, not touched.
Even Mandel's trademark bald head is this way by choice.
This feels so streamlined and so clean. You know, it just feels cleaner.
Not even 8:30 in the morning, and we've barely scratched the surface. Mandel has written a new book called Here's the Deal, Don't Touch Me, revealing his at times crippling struggle with OCD.
It's uncomfortable, and it's hard, and it's somewhat embarrassing. There were many times when I wanted to back out. I'm not somebody who sits down with strangers as I sit here.
We go way back.
But it's not me, it's them.
Mandel's fans would never know just how deep it goes. Until now, the audience had only heard this.
Your man does not shake hands, okay? You either knuckle him, you can hug him.
You can knuckle him, you just can't shake his hand.
Backstage, it's the rush to the set.
Are there any questions? Alright, that's OCD. So, yeah. If these things bother you, you might have OCD.
All right, could we get one of the groups for personality to step up, and then we'll have each one of these things covered. Thank you, ladies.
What?
I see yours are just right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're right there. That's what I was thinking. Where did you go?
Wait, is it 1, 2, 3? I don't know, it's that random number you're telling me.
You gotta sign. I haven't heard. Go up. It's up the top. I see.
So most of what we've talked about today, pretty much all we've talked about today has been the anxiety disorder. So now we're certainly switching gears, and this is going to be something that's very, very different. So just wanted to make that announcement. And then after we go over personality today, including DID and schizophrenia yesterday, these will be everything, and then we'll just repeat a lot of this stuff tomorrow. It could be good review.
Alright, well, we have personality disorders, and what a personality disorder is it's just a mental illness where you have trouble perceiving and relating to situations or to people. And common ones are like bipolar disorder and stuff like that. And frequent symptoms are mood swings and then stormy relationships with people, social isolation, angry outbursts, suspicion or mistrust of people, difficulty making friends, a need for gratification, poor impulse control, and alcohol or substance abuse.
Okay, so some of the causes are genetics and the environment, but then you have abuse has been known, like verbal and physical abuse has been known to lead to OCD, childhood trauma, high reactivity, which is sensitivity to light and noise, and then peers can sometimes affect personality disorder. Some of the statistics are 10% of people 18 years or older experience antisocial disorders, and antisocial disorders are just you can't function normally within a large group of people. 5.2% of people 18 years or older experience avoidant personality disorders, and avoidant personality disorders is you have an anxious personality and you display persuasive patterns of social inhibition. And 1.6% of people 18 years or older experience borderline personality disorder. And borderline personality disorder is also cluster B of all personalities. There's cluster B, D, A, and C. But cluster B, some of the disorders in there are antisocial disorder, borderline, narcissistic disorder, and histrionic disorder. Borderline personality disorder is the instability of interpersonal relationships and self-image. So you have issues, you know, with how you look and how you feel, you know, compared to other people. The chart right here, it shows the different, or like the methods to, solving personality disorder. It shows that most people don't get the right treatment for personality disorder, but some people do, and like the treatment for personality disorder, there's not really set medication that can assist with that, but you can go see a therapist and that sometimes will fix that. And then the video, right? Yeah. It's a girl who had this borderline personality disorder. Wait.
Click on the thing. What thing?
People with borderline.
The what?
Go at the top and click on the link. No, click
Oh,
on
no.
the top of the video.
What?
Where it
Oh,
says
my bad,
borderline
got it,
personality.
sorry. I knew that.
People with borderline personality disorder experience chronic feelings of emptiness. They often become involved in a series of highly unstable relationships. They are irrational and have a pathological fear of abandonment. In this segment, observe the pattern of Becky's relationships and note the way that she has learned to cope with her limitations.
It's like I feed off of physical contact. I mean, and I know the whole thing about babies needing to be touched when they're little, and you know, there's that whole thing. So my feeling probably isn't uncommon, but to me, it's just completely overwhelming. I mean, it's like I'm a very touchy-feely person if you're in my little circle or whatever, but I mean, if I don't get that physical contact, I just that's another trigger. I'll start to go off into one of my cutting phases. It's easier to just be unhappy, because to be happy opens yourself up to, you know, if you're happy about a relationship, then that person can turn around and make a rude comment or break up with you or whatever. And if I think that they're being dishonest with me or that they're going to leave, I start to phase them out, so that when I do leave, it's not like you're being ripped up inside again. It doesn't matter if they're actually leaving. We can be at a store and I lose track of them. I can't see them anymore, and I absolutely just flip out. I can't breathe. I can't.
But it's only the H word, so.
I can't be around people. I mean, I hate crowds. Crowds just freak me out. And if I lose the person I'm with, then it just is compounded by 100,000. And then when I find them, I'm not very nice. I'm, you know, where the hell were you? And all sorts of profanities. And then once I calm down, I apologize and realize I was being irrational, but couldn't see that in the moment.
Like many people with borderline personality disorder, Becky has an unstable self-image, and she has difficulty distinguishing between her public and personal persona. Becky is a highly articulate woman, and therapy has helped her to become more aware of the challenges she faces. She is optimistic for the future, and she seems determined both to establish permanent relationships and to find healthier ways to cope with her anxiety.
I don't know really who I am. I'm trying to find out.
Okay, nice. Are there any questions?